Hello and welcome to the TMZ podcast. I'm Charlie Cotton.
I'm Charlie Neff.
And today's going to be a fire episode of the pod, I reckon.
Oh, I like that. Setting the bar pretty high.
Well, we got you back in the studio. You've been out for a few days.
I know. I've been here in the office. It's just there's been a lot of breaking news in the morning, so I've been unfortunately having to do that, and no fun with the podcast.
A lot of our comments on our YouTube live stream have been like about, where's Charlie Neff? Yeah, we miss her.
You guys, I miss you too. I thought it was going to be like, thank God the girl's gone.
Nah, I was joking.
The witch is dead.
I was joking anyway. No one's discussed you. No one's noticed.
Sad.
I'm sorry, but I mean, no comments about you. Leave your comments now on our YouTube if you enjoy having Charlie here. If you'd prefer,
Rue, we're gonna
somebody else
vote on my demise.
We'll vote. It's gonna be like Survivor or something like that. Okay, what are we talking about today? Cardi B, what is going on with her?
Yeah, it's unclear, but she had to cancel a performance because she's got a medical issue.
We'll talk about Liam Payne because his dad's over there helping with the investigation, and his girlfriend is also talking about how they plan to get married sometime soon.
Yeah, and big development. The police raided the hotel where he passed away.
And finally, we'll give a Todd Chrisley update. Some of my favorite stories are Chrisley stories, to be honest.
Are they? Oh.
I don't know. I just like discussing these guys for whatever reason.
Train wrecks.
Kind of, but they're just like the little hijinks behind bars that Julie and Todd are getting up to. Todd has lost his job behind bars. He got fired from his job. Very sad. He's not happy about it, obviously. So we'll talk about that there at the end. To begin with, though, Cardi B, she is struggling, and she's struggling publicly. She took to Instagram Live a couple days ago from her hospital bed. Didn't talk about why she was there, but that something was going on. And now she is pulled out from headlining a huge festival, which, she was the act everybody was going to see.
Right.
And now she's out and they're scrambling.
So they announced yesterday, both her and the music festival. It's Music Fest 2020. It's One Music Fest 2024. A lot of other people were supposed to perform or are performing. Earth, Wind & Fire, Nelly, Method Man, Jill Scott, Glorilla, DJ Drama, Fat Joe. But they did a dual announcement yesterday saying that she will not be performing because of a medical issue that she's dealing with. However, they didn't say what it was. And then like you said, Charlie, so on Monday, we know that she was in the hospital because she was posting. She was like all pissed off because some random person called CPS and they had Child Protective Services came to her house to check on her kids. And Cardi was pissed about that. So we know it's not like an issue where she's not able to speak. Like she's still like being herself in the hospital.
She is speaking. I think maybe she's more fired up than ever from the hospital bed.
Well, sometimes when you're there, you're just thinking you have a lot of time on your hands.
Totally.
So then you can get like triggered.
You're medicated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're a bit inhibited. But yet they described it as a medical emergency that she is still in the hospital for days later. It's a bit like, it's worrying to be in the hospital that many days in a row. Right.
I mean, I feel like it does take a lot for you to even spend one night in the hospital. Like they have to really be like, you need to stay here. So that definitely tells us it has to be kind of serious. And I think Cardi's one where she would definitely want to perform. I don't think she would pull out of performing unless it was really something bad.
I have an idea who they could replace Cardi with at this very last minute.
Offset.
Oh
my gosh, why did I read your mind?
Because
we're basically like married, I feel like now. We're like a married couple. Sorry, Aaron. Sorry, Johnny.
I
can read your mind. That's a little scary.
We don't get along. We argue. We don't sleep together. So, that is a married couple.
But, when I do need help with something, I call you because you live next to me. Like, remember when you came and you saved that pigeon that was inside my house?
I saved you from the pigeon.
Well, yeah. You kind of saved the pigeon for me, too, I guess.
But, because Cardi, obviously, her and Offset right now couldn't be in a worse place.
Right.
It's like the stuff she is writing about him is so like vile. I wonder what he did because in the past he's cheated on her and she hasn't gone off this much. She says, I don't wish him death, but I truly hate this dirty ass narcissistic piece of shit. She says, I wish the worst on this man. I've never hated somebody so much. Somebody please take this man off my hands. This garbage bag is too heavy. And then someone replied, and I kind of agree with this sentiment. They replied saying, yep, you still love him because that ferocity of emotion.
Because you care so deeply that you hate the person. It's when the love can't be reciprocated, so it turns into hate.
And Cardi replied, no, I don't love him. I want him to get hit by a fucking truck. He is really a dark cloud on anybody's life he enters. Wow. Wow.
They'll get back together. That tells me they're going to get back together.
Love and hate, they're a similar intensity of emotion.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
If you don't care about someone, you're just like, you bang whoever you want to bang. But I mean, these guys were together for so long. She was
on and off. She's filed for divorce in the past.
She just had his baby.
Well, it's like what, third baby?
She just had his third baby.
Second
Actually,
baby?
Maybe that, often after pregnancies, there can be sort of like complications. It's hard for...
Or just like hormonal.
Hormonal, but also maybe like, I don't know why she's in the hospital, but having childbirth is very traumatic. Like that is a big health thing.
All right, do you have experience?
Of course. Well, not personally, but I've seen someone have childbirth.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine.
Not an easy process. And the weeks and months after you give birth are a very sort of like tricky time health-wise. So maybe there's something to do with who knows? I love Cardi. I hate that she's going through such like a difficult time personally, health-wise, Offset. It's going to be interesting to see if she can sort of recover mentally from what's going on and like, chart her new course because right now she's struggling.
Yeah, and I would just say like, I just feel like Cardi, once she finds a new man, all these intense feelings about Offset are probably going to go away,
I think so.
She just hasn't moved on yet, so hopefully she'll get to a point where that's the case.
Okay, on to our next story. Liam Payne, we're learning more and more about that tragic day because police have raided the hotel. His father is over there helping with the investigation. Yep. What have we learned in the last 24 hours about this tragedy?
Well, I think the reason why people are probably wondering why did they raid the hotel, and I think there's some confusion as to did they get surveillance footage or not. And also we know that authorities are zeroing in on somebody that worked on the hotel. We're told by sources that they believe somebody at the hotel was the one that supplied Liam with that totally horrible cocktail of drugs that was in his system. Remember, there was like the preliminary. Oh, I love that you can say it like hit that R better than me.
You preliminary.
I can't, it's too early. But in the early toxicology reports, it said he had all this stuff in his system. Remember, it said like pink cocaine, which is like a mixture of ketamine,
ecstasy, meth.
Yep. I mean, it's wild, like what was in his system before he fell to his death. And we know that authorities they raided the hotel. They're looking for footage. They're zeroing in on somebody that might have worked at the hotel.
I feel bad for that guy or girl.
For the person that supplied the drugs? Why would you feel bad for them?
Imagine like
somebody died under their watch.
Okay, I don't feel bad for him. He shouldn't be a drug dealer.
Yeah.
But I empathize with an A-grade star coming into your hotel. You're a hotel employee. He says, I need this. And you feel like pressured. You know what I mean? Like, it's a power dynamic.
It's easy to say no.
Yeah, he should have said no. And I hope the police...
Yeah, I mean, we can't be supportive.
I'm not supportive. I just, I have a little concern for this whole situation. I think just like everybody is just like, it's terrible for everyone. His ex-girlfriend... No, his current girlfriend.
Well, yeah. Girlfriend.
She said that they were about to get married. He wrote her a note that he said, don't open this. But I guess she did open it after his death. And it said, like, let's get married within the year. And so, I mean, it just, he had envisaged a life with this lady. He was in love. It just makes, I think it makes it even more sort of tragic that sort of like in his right mind, he was building a future.
Right.
And in his drug-addled mind, he just wasn't thinking straight.
And especially if you're the girlfriend and she's thinking like, oh, this is what my life is going to look like in the next, 10 plus years. Like you're thinking in the next year, you're going to be engaged, you're going to be married. Like you start planning your future in your head and you start feeling safe and committed to the person you're with. And then when all of a sudden they're gone, I mean, you really feel like the rug has been swept out from under you, and it's such a horrible feeling. to have to pick up the pieces and feel like, where do you move forward from here?
And his poor family, man. Just looking at the photos of the whole family together.
The dad, Jeff, there. He has been like involved. I feel like if something tragic happened to one of my loved ones, I wouldn't be able to even like be in the space at that person. Like I would be so distraught. But the fact that his father is like, you know what? I'm going to get to the bottom of this myself. He flew out from the UK to Argentina. He's been going to the hotel, helping investigators, like retracing all of his son's steps. It's been like a methodical process for him, I believe. But I mean, we had that video last week too, where he was at the hotel where his son passed away, and the father came out to look at all the makeshift memorial that fans created. And when he came out to look at all of it, everyone gave him a moment of silence. And it was so gut-wrenching to watch this father there looking, taking it all in, and then continue with like going to the morgue, like working with authorities.
And the picture of him like on the balcony, like looking down.
So horrible.
It's gut-wrenching. Okay.
Todd Chrisley.
Todd Chrisley. What do we know about Todd Chrisley?
Well,
is he happy? Is he sad? What's happening?
He is very unhappy because he was removed from a job at a prison chapel, according to his attorney. So he was fired. He obviously is spending a lot of time behind bars right now. He had a gig working at the prison chapel, and his attorney, Jay Sargent, tells us that Todd was dismissed from his administrative role at the chapel inside FPC Pensacola, where he was locked up. And he says Todd has been assisting a chaplain, helping set up church services for inmates in different faiths, including Christianity, Jewish, the Jewish people, Muslim.
Right.
And he was doing a good job, according to his attorney. However, prison officials apparently saw things differently. And the attorney says that Todd was working out of a small office in the prison next to their residential drug abuse program. And apparently Todd has been like chatting it up with people that have been coming and going in the drug program next to his office. And look, it's unclear what Todd was saying to those inmates, but Todd's attorney says that prison officials objected to Todd communicating with all these people. And Todd's attorney thinks that the prison officials don't want Todd communicating about his incarceration with part-time inmates who have access to the outside world.
So they think that Todd's like trying to tell them a message, and then they get released from prison and they'll go and tell.
Yeah,
it's very like
that.
Just let him have a chat. You know, sometimes I think just let him. I mean, I guess he's a criminal behind bars, and if there's a rule, don't chat to other inmates while you're doing your chapel job. Rules are rules. But it seems like a pretty minor offense. I know, like, you know, prisoners live for these sort of jobs, you know, just something to distract yourself.
And now he's looking for another gig inside a prison.
Anybody got a gig?
I know. I mean,
do people listen to the podcast in prison? Do they have podcasts in prison? They have TV.
I feel like, didn't Suge Knight have a podcast from prison?
Oh, he did a podcast from prison. I was like, they listen.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure.
I know prisoners really like TMZ.
They do.
When TMZ comes on at nighttime, they're fighting for the remote.
We get like fan mail too. Did you ever see some of like the paintings we'll get and stuff like that? People will like spend so much time on artwork behind bars, like drawing you, drawing me. The one that I got to keep, they drew me as a cheerleader.
Oh, wow.
I was like, yeah, they gave me like a sexy body too.
So unrealistic.
Rude.
Yeah, well, I mean, Todd's going to be out in 8 years.
Wow.
And Julie's out in like
time.
4 or 5 or something like that. So he's got a while. I hope he finds another gig in there. God knows. God knows what he's doing. All right, let's read out some of the comments you guys have been leaving us while we've been doing the app. Richard Prado wonders what Offset did this time. She's protected him through everything. She has been kind of a shield and she hasn't sort of outed him as like he did this, and this, and this. Like I think she's been like really angry, and we know like there's cheating involved
in the back.
But she hasn't sort of like really come out. Maybe this time she's really going to come for him. Looks like it.
Yeah.
She says that Miss Courtney Renee says that her feet swell up when she flies, so maybe that's part of her medical stuff.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
I think a lot of people's feet swell up when they fly.
Well, yeah, you're supposed to wear compression socks, right? That like helps with circulation.
Yeah.
I don't like those though. They get too tight.
Everyone's really sad about what's happening with Liam Payne and praising the father for coming over.
David, CIDB.
And D says that D. Are you trying to make me do the D nuts joke? D's nuts. D says Todd contributed to his own demise here, and that he put himself in a situation with the massive financial crimes that he did, and now rules are rules in prisons. There's a lot of rules that you got to follow, and if you step out, then you can't be too sad that you get cut off.
Yeah, that's true.
And a few miscellaneous comments here. Diane,
I miss Charlie.
Thank you. I missed you too, Diane.
I missed you so much.
No, she's talking about me.
No, she's not. You've been nowhere. You've been here.
The last 24 hours, Diane has been without me. Diane's missed me.
Sure.
Oh, you two, just get married already, says Jennifer.
No.
No, I pass.
No. I tried to hook you up with some of my friends when you were single back in the day. Sorry,
Wasn't
Aaron.
interested.
It was before you were around, Aaron.
Well, I think back in the day when, we were both single, I knew you had a twinkle in your eye for me.
Oh, Charlie, please. I like men that are super masculine that look like they can kick a door down.
And?
Charlie, your leg would snap in half if you try to kick a door down.
The door would break my leg.
Yes,
not the other way around. All right, well, great having you back, I guess.
Oh, thank you. What do you mean you guess?
Well, there's been a few disses, but I think that's what people love. Often people tell me...
People think we have, some,
banter.
Yeah.
People say I'm too mean to you.
You are.
I say it's banter. I tell them it's just banter. Charlie loves it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you don't?
Just kidding.
Okay, thank you, Charlie.
Thank you, Charlie.
And we'll see you here tomorrow.
Bye.